Geert Hofstede's Four Dimensions of Culture. Geert Hofstede's Four Dimensions of Culture relates to culture in the workplace. Hofstede was a psychologist that studied 100,000 individuals' behavior in the workplace from 1967 to 1973. He was able to compare different dimensions of culture in over 40 countries. These included power distance, individualism versus collectivism, uncertainty avoidance, and masculinity versus femininity. The first is power distance. People are seen as unequal in physical and intellectual capabilities. According to his data, high power distance countries let inequalities grow over time into inequalities of power and wealth. Meanwhile, low power distance cultures were found in societies that tried to play down such inequalities as much as possible. The second is individualism versus collectivism. This focused on the high relationship between he or she and their fellows. And individualist cultures valued individual freedom and achievement. Meanwhile, collectivism had tight relationships and everyone was supposed to look after each other and their interests. The third is uncertainty avoidance. This measures the extent to which different cultures socialize their members into tolerating uncertainty. Members of high uncertainty avoidance cultures placed a premium on job security, career patterns, retirement benefits, and so on. They also had a strong need for rules and regulations. Managers are expected to give clear instructions. Lower uncertainty avoidance cultures are characterized by greater readiness to take risks and less emotional resistance to change. The fourth is masculinity versus femininity. This looked at the relationship between gender and the workplace. In masculine cultures, sex roles were sharply different, and the effective exercise of power determined cultural ideals. Meanwhile, in feminine cultures, little differentiation was made between men and women in the same job. Is this theory still relevant today? I believe this theory is still relevant today, especially the individualism versus collectivism, since your approval into any job or position heavily depends on how your manager views their work, whether it's individualistic or collectivistic, as well as masculinity versus femininity. We can see this in the US with the wage gap, as well as many other countries. Although there are obviously many more dimensions to culture in the workplace nowadays, Hofstede's four have stayed. Thank you. If you would like to read more about Hofstede's Four Dimensions of Culture, you can see it on page 110 in the textbook.